Welcome to Techie Tuesday. I'm your host, Tara O'Gorman, and I am happy to be here today. It's a little chilly here in Florida, which is always a good thing. I've got some ginger tea, and I'm ready to make a page with you all, or a couple pages. And actually, because normally this corresponds with, well, no, not normally, but sometimes it corresponds with a virtual crop, and I usually do a virtual crop, but I've done that a few times. So I'm going to show you some techniques that maybe you haven't seen, and I'm going to show you how to bring in a page from another project. Okay, so let's just start with some announcements real quick, and let me change. Oh, that's good. All right, so we do have an in the feed drawing today. So in order to be entered, you will want to like and comment to be entered, and then the drawing will be at the end. It is an in the feed drawing, so you do have to be present to win, and hopefully we'll catch some people hopping on in their lunch to win some CM credits, or because it's Techie Tuesday, some Forever $10 and Forever gift certificates. All right, so many thanks if you have subscribed to me on YouTube. And that is the quickest way for you to watch past videos, which are particularly helpful, I feel like, in the digital realm, because either you need some inspiration or you forgot how to do something. You can hop on out to my Techie Tuesday playlist and catch up on some old lives. All right, and whoops, what's happening? All right, so we did have a virtual crop the 8th to the 12th, and our friend Katie won the drawing for that. So congratulations, Katie, on winning that. She is a frequent winner of that, and she hopped on there right after the live last Tuesday and submitted a page. And I believe she wasn't the only one. Let me just see really quick here. I know she won, but I feel like she also yeah, Jen G did too. I thought so. Yeah, so I did a little did 2 tickets, one for Jen G and one for Katie W, and Katie was the winner, and so I will send those over to her as soon as we're off here. So congratulations to Katie. You don't have to be present to win those. But the next virtual crop will be the second weekend in December. And you can submit a page, digital or paper, and add the hashtag Daytona Area Scrapbooking to it. And you may just win some CM credits. All right. See. All right, next up, the Black Friday promo is still happening. And since we are talking about digital today, then I want to hop on over there to show you what is available for our digital friends. Let's see. All right, so here is the 2 Black Friday promos that are left right now. This has been going on for over a week now, and it ends this Friday at noon. So if you spend $150, then you get to pick one of these fun promos. But if you click onto the promo page and you scroll all the way down, there were these other ones that have sold out. Christmas on the Coast and all that. So there's a digital Black Friday kit. And if you purchase $30 in artwork or digital products, then you get all three of those kits for free. So you get the digital papers and embellishments and borders and all the things in the digital kits. So if you are watching this and you have Artisan or some other digital program that you can import JPG or ERPNG files, then you will want to take advantage of that for sure. So that is the Black Friday promo. And then here is our up-to-date second card for Simon's Angels. So we filled up a whole card for $500 in gift cards, and we have another 400 covered on this card. So we just have 110, 4 15s, and a 30 left. And you get tickets into a drawing for CM credit, so you can use that for digital artwork or paper supplies. If you donate the 10, you get 1 ticket. 15 is 2 tickets. 30 is 4 tickets. And so that drawing will take place next Tuesday, along with all the rest of the drawings. So tonight, that's why I'm live at noon. That's not very fun for me to do the live at noon. I want to get as many people on there as possible. So week of Thanksgiving, next Tuesday night, I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I know some of you weren't able to stop by my open house this weekend. But those of you that did, and there was almost 40 or just about 40 of you that did stop by, then you put in your name for all kinds of drawings. And so we're going to do those drawings live next Tuesday evening, right before card class. These are the cards that we will be making. So if you want to participate in the card class, I will be mailing those out tomorrow and Thursday, so you'll have them in time. Our out-of-state friends, yours will ship tomorrow, and everybody else's will ship Thursday, so you have it in time. So look for those this weekend and Monday to hit your mailbox so that we can make cards on Tuesday night together. And I think I just have 3 left over. So if you want to participate, and maybe you're here for digital scrapbooking and you thought, I'm going to try these card kits out, you can go to Daytona Area Scrapbooking. You can order your card kit and hang out with us and make the cards. And then you'll have a card to give. If you're not the host of Thanksgiving, you'll have a card, a couple different choices for cards you can give to your Thanksgiving host. All right, project recipes, December 3rd. This is what we will be doing. That's a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Make sure to register at DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com so you get the PDF and the link with the link to the PDF of the project recipe. Okay. Oh, let's change to this alt view here. Ice cream and cards, 2 p.m. on December 15th at Cherry Hill Ice Cream. If you already participated and made the cards and you don't need any Christmas cards, you can pick one of the other Creative Memories box kits. So when you register, you're going to select either the Christmas cards or one of the other box kits, or the fact that you'll decide when you get there, and that's fine too. You just, if you know what you want, then which kit you want, then I will be sure to have it there ready for you. If not, then you'll, just have to choose from what's available there. Jumpstart January is filling up. In fact, if you want a full table for both the days, Friday and Saturday, you are going to want to register ASAP because we are almost full. So don't delay on that. It's just about a month and a half out, right? Just under 2 months out till we get together in January. Hard to believe, but it's true. And if you don't have one of these awesome shirts that say Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Scrappiness, and then on the back it says Scrappy Ladies Raising Money for Local Veterans, you'll want to order one of those, and you can order at DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com. Just go to the shop and you'll see them there. You might have to scroll past the card kits. Memory Maniacs retreat to the lake. I got my little disco Bitmoji up there because it'll be my 70th retreat. And it is also filling up. I think I just have 2 half tables and a full table left. So if you were planning to go, then do not delay on that either. And that's all the way in next April. But it came out last weekend and it is almost sold out. It is a fan favorite. All right, and then just a reminder, we do have a drawing today at the conclusion of our live, and you do have to be present to win. So hang out, sit back, grab some hot tea because it's a little chilly here in Florida, and we're going to make some pages. All right, so we're going to start out. I always forget. Techie Tuesday. I got to pull it up on my phone too so that I can see if there's any questions, because when I'm working here, I cannot see if there's any questions. Forget. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. All right, so now feel free to fire away. Okay, well, first announcement I have is that, ta-da, those of you that are frequent watchers of Techie Tuesday have seen me actually working on this book for, I don't know, the last year. A lot of the pages that are in this digital book, I'm sure if I, oh, here's one, was made right here on Techie Tuesday. Pretty much, I mean, a lot of these. I would say, here's another one. You might remember, Philadelphia. Probably 80% of this book was done on Facebook Live. So I finally printed that, got it finished, proofread the first weekend in November when I was at my Volano beach retreat, and got it back and have enjoyed looking at it. So the first thing I want to show you is I do 2 volumes per year. And so, or sometimes you just create something and you want to use it again. Maybe it's a cool page, you know, like you may design a template, or maybe in my case, it's the cover. So the covers, if I click on the cover page, okay, warning, always read those warnings. Then I'm going to import a page from another book. So if I click up here on template, and there's 2 options on this on the screen for a template. One of them is using a template from an art kit. And if I click that, now I want to see if I'm going to pause because I know there's a delay on. I'm just sharing my window right now, but I want to see if you are going to be able to see the pop-up. And so there's a little bit of a delay from me to Facebook. So I want to see, and I don't think it's going to show up. So I'm going to change the way I'm sharing this super quick, so that I'm going to just share my full screen because I want you to be able to see the pop-up windows. And unfortunately, you can't see them when I'm only sharing Artisan and not sharing my entire screen. So let's see. And it always is crazy when I first do that. Okay, so now you should be able to see what I'm doing. So there's only, when I'm clicked on the cover, there's only a few options highlighted in the home ribbon. If I click on template, that's where you see the 2 options pop up: using a template from an art kit or using a page file from my computer. And so if I click on using a template from an art kit, some of them say no previews available. And if you click on, you can see them on the bottom left. So even if there's not a preview available for the page that you're looking at, like in this case, Beautifully Blended, I have 5 different choices that I can choose from. All right, so, but what I'm going to do is actually import in from the book I just finished because I want the covers to match. So I'm going to say the second choice, which is using a page file. So you do have to know where you keep your artisan projects. And I keep the ones that I'm currently working on in the artisan projects folder. And so then I click into O'Gorman album 2013. I'm going to change the way I'm viewing it so that I can find my cover page. And where is it? Sometimes I click so fast. Where are you, cover? They aren't in order. You can sort them by when you created them, and actually I'm going to do that next. Oh, there it is. Usually you can just tell by the shape because it's skinnier and it's just different. So I'm going to say open now that I've selected that page, and it is going to bring in the page. Now, this happens a lot when I ask it to import and I'm on live where it's like, ugh, takes a second, but here we go. So the only thing, obviously, I'm not going to use these pictures because these pictures were from the first half of the year. So I'm going to start by clicking on those and say remove. But the rest of these, the rest of it, I'm going to keep, and then I'm just going to change the text because it says January to June. And I'm going to change that to July through December. Okay, so I've now erased those pictures. I just, pick pictures from through the year for the back. I'm going to hit my little save icon, and then you'll see it populate over on the right-hand side. And there it goes. And now I'm going to change my text from January to June to July through December. And now it's not going to fit. It's getting cut off. So I'm going to just try to make it a tad bigger, the text box, and that seemed to fit. And center it. And that looks good. So now it says July. So just like this one. And I don't usually put anything on the spine, any words on the spine. But I usually, change up my albums. So when I see these two, they're matching. I can pull them out from the shelf and see which one is volume 1 and which one is volume 2. So now my cover is done. All right, usually that's the last thing I do. But on the volume 2, I like to pull it in. And now that I have published this book, the one that I already printed, I will move that file off of my computer onto an external drive because those files are actually quite large. In fact, let me just show you how big it is. So this is, it was close to 100 pages. I'm sorting it by date modified to get to it more quickly here. And whoops. Oh, I just want to go to properties. And okay, so it's 12 gigs. It contains 2,507 files. That's a lot of files. And that's just in that one album. So between photos and pieces of paper and all the little things, that's how big that project is. So now that it's printed, of course, just in case, something were to happen to the book and I want to reprint it, I'm going to save it, but I'm just going to put it on an external so it's not taking up room on my desktop. All right, so now I can hop on to the first page of the book. And I was thinking about it as I was picking pictures today, because I'm training for a marathon and I've been running. And the start of the week, every week, I see that I'm at 0 miles, and I'm like, ugh, it's so hard. You just like the whole week laying out there ahead of you, and you got to start all over. So that was me yesterday. I got out onto the beach to do 4 miles, and that was great. But that's how I feel when I start a new book. I'm like, oh, 100 pages. But here's the thing. It's that old saying, just like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, or when's the best time to plant a tree? Today, kind of a thing, because it's just the incremental progress. So if you were to do one, like 2-page spread a week, then you would have 52 2-page spreads by the end of the year. It's 100 pages. It's a full book. Okay, so that's just doing one a week. And if you were to do, be a real overachiever and do a 2-page spread, which is not a lot, but a 2-page spread every day, like while you drink your coffee in the morning, you could have multiple books done in a year. But it seems so daunting when we just open up a book for the, page 1 and get ready to start. So that's where I am, because this is volume 2, and I am just chugging along on these old pictures. All right, so I'm going to show you a fun technique. I have 6 pictures for this page. So not enough, I don't think, to do a 2-page spread, but I thought I would show you a fun technique in building this page. So I'm not going to use a template or anything. I just thought I would show you a fun technique. So in that technique it's going to be using on the cut ribbon, and we're going to do a faded cut. So I like this for this type of book, or this type of page. All right, so this is a page. This first page is the first pictures for this book are July 4th, 2013. And my son Aiden was doing the firecracker 4-miler on Daytona Beach. But I zoomed in and I cannot find him in this picture at all. I have looked everywhere. Now I do see him in the start in this picture, and he is a tiny little face. He's right over here. So I thought I would see him in this picture but I guess I didn't. So I missed him. Here's the guy that came in after him for age group. But I really like the way this picture looks, just with the lighting, the sun and everything. And this other picture is a little washed out. So what I thought I would do was make it not completely the background, though I can stretch this down, and now it's the entire background of the page. And so this is, Joe's Crab Shack, or I think that's Joe's Crab Shack on Daytona. But I'm going to move it up a little bit. And what I'm going to do is, because I want to see more of the pier, I didn't want it to be all just about Joe's Crab Shack. But I'm going to chop off this bottom part and make it be faded, so that I can add some pictures here and some journaling at the bottom. So I'll show you how to do it. So I plopped my picture onto the page. I've stretched it to the edge and to the top. Now I'm going to go to the cut ribbon. So when I refer to ribbons, that's the names of these ribbons across the top. So you get the home ribbon. Well, the file ribbon is first, and that's where you save and all that good stuff. Then you've got the home ribbon, insert, arrange, format, cut, color, filter, touch up, photo, view. Okay, so we're going to go to the cut. And on the far left is the straight. And when you click on it, you've got a straight edge, a blended edge, a paper rip, and a shaped edge. So I'm just going to take you through these different these different edges so you can see what each one of them do. Now, I already know I want to do a blended edge, but I'm going to show you what a shaped edge looks like. So I want to flip it horizontal. That was for the design. I want to flip the to 90 down here, and you can also dial it on the little round dial if you're afraid you're not going to get it right. And then you can expand it this way. Now it's set, the shape is set to square, so we don't want that. We actually want to choose an edge. So if I go to edges and then I click on edges, these are the different edges that I have. So here's like classic. If I select classic, this is what I'm going to get. It's going to cut this shape along the side. Now on the right hand side, I can change spacing, although when you change the spacing now, it adds this weird like chunk in between. You can also change the aspect ratio, which will squish them more together, or stretch them apart like so. You can swap the shaded area for the unshaded area. It really doesn't matter. Only matters if you're reading the correct question down here. So the question is, after cut and copy, keep the shaded or keep the unshaded? So sometimes I'm moving so quickly that I don't really read about what it says. So right now it's saying keep the unshaded. Well, class, do I want to keep this unshaded? Well, if I was looking for a cool beach, just some sand for the bottom of a page, then maybe I would. But in this case, I want to make sure I say keep the shaded. And then when I cut, this is what I get. So that's the edge shape. Now I'm going to hit my undo button because I don't really want to do that. I'm just taking you through the different ones. Now, if I'm clicked out here on the outside of my page, actually straight doesn't even come up as an option. I need to be clicked on the picture for straight to be the option. So now I'll go to paper rip. Who likes to rip paper in real life for their scrapbook pages? This girl does. I really like the rip paper look, particularly, I don't know why, like for mountain pages or, anything rustic, I like to rip paper. So same thing, we're going to change this angle. You can do that by grabbing one of these green balls and turning it, and it'll reflect the angle over here. Okay, good. We want it 90. I want to separate it. That's showing you how big the area will rip, and you can see a little preview over here. If I see the rip reveal is how much of that core is being shown. You know how if you're ripping like a white core paper, and then the rip irregularity, you can change that. How crazy do you want your rip to be? Okay, so then we have that same question at the bottom. Pay attention. We've got keep both areas too. So sometimes you will want to rip it and keep both areas. So in this case, I'm going to rip it and keep both areas so you can see. So the rip is going to happen right here in the middle along this line. I'm going to say keep both areas, and I'm going to cut. All right, so there's my cut, and when I pull them apart, see, that's the core that's being revealed. So, and it's hard to see on this white background, so let me just, I'm going to click, I clicked on the background, and now I'm going to fill with a solid color, and I'm just going to fill it with the color of the sky. All right, just so you can see what that rip looks like. So even that is a really cool, that's a cool look for a page. So just, you don't have to get complicated in your page designs. You can do something cool just by playing with the tools. And so my idea is actually to do something faded, not to do the rip. But my plan is to add in little photo boxes down here to add the rest of the pictures. All right, so let's go ahead and do that last little bit here. I'm going to just keep undoing until I get that picture back together. there it is. And all right, so now we're gonna do it again, but I'm going to do under the cut ribbon straight, and we're gonna do blended edge. All right, so here's the nice thing about the blended edge. Let's turn it sideways. I'm at 90. So you can see, so you're gonna keep, you know, I'm gonna tell it to keep the shaded. And so it doesn't get unshaded till way down here. So you want to pick pick how much of the picture you kind of want to lose. And then by expanding this, you expands how much, how wide you want that faded area to be. So here's what I mean. If I keep it really tiny like this, okay, I'm gonna say, yes, keep the shaded, and I'm gonna cut, and then you'll see. So this is a really tiny little swath, and I say cut, and look at it's just this tiny little edge that's faded. So I was looking for something a little more dramatic, but I wanted to show you how to get the look maybe that you're looking for. So let's flip this around again. That's 90. And now let's go really drastic. And I've got the center line kind of right along the feet of the runners. And now I'm going to say, keep the shaded. It always wants to go to unshaded. And then I'm going to say cut. All right. So I did a really large swath, and so you see how it faded onto the page. And now let's just do a medium, just so you can see what the medium would look like, since we're playing here right now. So let's turn this. So I like this look for, like I said, when I don't have a ton of pictures, and I'm gonna go, let's see, like, I don't know, an inch under where I put the center line right by their feet last time. And keep the shaded. And then there we go. So now that's like half the page. So that I can add, that's like my paper, right? Sometimes you don't, I could use like a running kit, or, a track or beach, or, all that, lots of things. But especially if you don't have a bunch of digital artwork, maybe you're new, you don't even have to, use a bunch of artwork. You can use your photos to get the look that you're after. All right, I'm going to make this a little bigger. I'm going to go to straight. I'm going to go to blended. I kind of liked, I'm going to go in the middle of the so between middle and a huge amount. So I'm going to go right. Keep the shaded area. Cut. All right. So I wanted it just a little bit more than half. And now I'm going to do insert, and I'm going to do an empty frame, and I'm going to add some mats to these photos. But I've got that picture from the start. Aiden is so tiny. I might just zoom in on that. So if I use that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's still 5 pictures to use, and I'm going to make them various sizes based on the photo. So and you can also throw the picture in, and let's see how far I can zoom in on this. Not very far, that's for sure. All right, so I can't zoom in very far. He's going to be very blurry. I'm going to do this. I'm going to say edit using the image editor. So this will allow me to edit this picture right in, say he was, oh yeah, he's like behind this girl's arm. I kind of like that Daytona Beach Pier is in this picture. All right, so what I'm going to say is crop, and up on the top there, and I'm going to crop in, and I'm going to try to get the Daytona Beach Pier in there. Where was that girl's arm? I'm going to say okay, just so I can see what, oh, there he is. Okay. He's over here on the side. I don't even know if it's worth putting this picture in, but let's just play. All right, so now I'm going to go to color, and I'm going to go to brightness because I need to definitely brighten up. And I usually just start with midtones, to be honest. I'm going to just pump up those midtones and say, and then sometimes I play with contrast. And see what happens. See, that made everyone a little darker, actually. That makes everyone a little less crisp. So I'm going to not really play with contrast. I'm going to stick with midtones. And then I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to come into hue, and I'm going to just add a little bit to the saturation, because sometimes when you lighten things up, things look a little washed out. And so, okay, now I can hit my little save icon, and that is going to save this picture in the edited version because I could not zoom in far enough to do what I wanted to do. Now I can just do that little X above it, and it's going to be at the bottom of my list of pictures here. And here it is. And now I can drop it in over here. Now, whoops. Let's lock that. I just moved that. So on the left-hand side where your elements are, there's a little lock button. You can lock it, especially if you find that you continually grab, you know, something that you don't need to be grabbing. All right, so Aiden's over here on the side. I'm going to make this much smaller. He's going to be so tiny. It might be silly. I might not use it. All right. So that's the start. Now I need to go back up here to the top. If I add under the photo ribbon, if I add my matte, and I'm just going to do a single matte, I could do red, white, and blue because this was the firecracker for 4 miler. Oh, I could use some like 4th of July stuff. All right, so I like a thin matte, so I'm gonna actually just type in 1 and say okay. Now I can copy and paste this this image holder, and it'll copy the matte. But before I do that, because I also like to make sure that I have a shadow, is I'm going to click light shadow. All right, so there's my light shadow, and it has a matte. And now, what did I say? I had 5 pictures. Now I can just copy, Control C, and then V, 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 V. So now I have 5 picture slots. And because my aspect ratio isn't locked, I can actually shrink them. I can do whatever I want to make the sizes, you know, fit. All right, so that was the start. Here is when we finally see him coming. He's like in the mist back here. So, and then here's another one where he's closer. And so maybe this one I want to, and I can kind of overlap them because I want to kind of keep him small out there and show it's not like he's winning the race. But here's this one for his age group. He did win his age group. So I want to get that picture. And I can shrink it. This one is after the race. He's all smiles. And actually, I'm just going to delete this. I'm going to copy this one and paste it so that I know they're the same size. And now I can drop this in. So this is before he got on the medal stand, right after we saw him. You don't have to go to using the photo editor to do everything. I'm not in the photo editor, but I can come up here and I can click color and go to brightness and pump up those midtones. Maybe on this one, because his face is kind of in the shadow, I'm going to do more of the shadows. Let's see what contrast does. Okay. And now I can make this one kind of the same height as I have it set so little green lines come up, and it might be hard for you to see on a small screen, but that is a nice way of making sure everything is kind of squared up without going in and using align tools and everything else. Okay, so now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a lasso around all of these things, and then just using my arrow button kind of center things. And then I can move it up. I tried to go out online and find the results. Usually I take pictures of the little paper results that they post, just because this is early in Aiden's running career. And if you've been watching me for a while, then you know that he runs in college and participated in the Olympic trials this summer. So it's kind of fun to look back at these old pictures from when he was just starting his run life, and he still is running. All right, now he's got Brendan and I are running. All right, so now I haven't used any content on this, but I think it would be fun since it is on the 4th of July and it's the Firecracker 4-miler. I'm going to hop into content over here, and I'm going to go to, I have some categories, and let's see, I have a patriotic category, so that's where my 4th of July, so I have Cheerful Stars and Stripes edition. Let's see what's in there. Some fireworks and stars, those might be fun. Let's see, let's say boom. Let's see. I think maybe Stars and Spirit. What's in here? I like those fireworks. Because the Firecracker 4-miler, I wish I would something so Firecracker. All right, I think I'm going to do Cheerful Stars and Stripes here. And because that one at least had a 4th of July. And I can put that up here. Or maybe I want to do Firecracker 4-miler. And so I'll just do this down here. Make it a little smaller. Now let me insert a text. I'm going to have that up here. And I'm going to double click on it and say Firecracker 4-miler. Now I need to find the perfect font, which is, you know, harder than it sounds. I am so picky with my fonts. Look at how many fonts I have, but you know, fonts, they just have a feel. I want something a little fun. I want, sometimes I can, you know, look through the list and land on something right away. That's a little big, but I like it. Thankfully, I was able to find something. I don't want it to go into the building. I can add a box behind it, which would then, you know, be fine. But then I'm going to lose that sky. So let's see. Whoops. I don't know why I went to 20 there. That's still too small. If you double click on it, you can press the up font, and then that will help you kind of get in the right vicinity there. All right, so there's Firecracker 4 Miler. Let's make that a nice bright red. I'm going to sample this red down here. I can add on the stroke where it says none. I can actually add a stroke. I can add a 1-inch white outline. It's going to add a little outline to it. Oh, well, that actually added the box. Hold on. Go backwards. I did the wrong thing. So that would do it to the actual, I did that to the actual text box. And so some of you actually like an outline on your text box, but what I meant to do was click this outliner and we'll just do 1, and I just want white. And I actually want the fill to be white too. In case there's any white behind it. So see what it did there was it actually created something and it put it right on top. And now I can drag it below, and now there's a slight outline, and the insides have it as well. Or I can go back to that, drag it up here, and instead of that fill, instead of white, I can add the fill as the red, and let me hide the original red, and that's what that looks like. So what that did though is that filled in, it filled in where the red, I've hidden both of them. So that's with a white background, and then that is just the original. I don't know, I kind of just like the original. All right, you can also add a format. We can add that light, we can add a light shadow to it, and that helps it kind of pop a little bit. So let's get a firecracker on there. And I'm just going to drop it right onto the page and just do a couple firecrackers. Let me add my light shadow to both of those, overlap them a little bit. Maybe make this one a little bigger. And now we need to, actually, I'm gonna take out this 4th of July because I just saw this boom, and I'm gonna put that by, because he won his age group here. Get some of these fireworks on here. This blue firework. it really covering it too much. I'm going to copy it and paste another one kind of underneath, overlapping it just a little bit. And I'm going to fill this one with white instead. So it's like a white firework. And then I'm going to add that. And I think we need a little red firework too. That over here. Obviously, there were no fireworks at 7:30 in the morning. To it, and I can change this boom. I can fill that under fill on the far left there with the same red that I've been using. And here's a lit firecracker. That to it. All right. And I think really that will be it. Now I can just add, I need to add my text box back. So insert text. And now this text box is going to go down here, and I will write about Aiden there. I like to use a simple font for my handwriting. I like Century Gothic. And I like to use about 12 or 11. Here's the thing with digital, I'll just give you a little tip, and that is when it's on your screen, things seem really small. But if you ever used Word or Excel and printed something out, then you kind of have a feeling for what looks good when it's printed. And I find like using 20 or 24 or anything, sometimes people just write for what they can see on the screen, and so then in my opinion it comes out looking like huge, and like it's too much for me. I like to do something a little bit more normal, like normally what I would use. So I saw this border, and this is what happens with digital, right? I've got this content kit over here. And then I'm like, oh, well, let me see what that looks like. Oh, what does that look like? Now I want to drag this behind these pictures. The easiest way to do that is to come over here to the left and just drag that below all the pictures. So I'm going to make sure that it goes behind those other pictures, and I'm going to see how I like it. Sometimes it's distracting when it goes behind the pictures like that. It's kind of cool because it's got a little bit of a wave to it, and we're at the beach. So let me just make this firecracker a tad bigger here so it goes through, extends through that. Now it is going to be a right facing page, which means that it's going to be stitch bound on the left. So before I move on, so I saved it, so I have that now. I'm actually going to go change my view. I'm going to go up to the view tab, and I'm going to change that to a spread, but I'm going to change it to 2 bound pages. And what that does is it shows me where things are going to disappear into the gutter. So, and from this view, to me, that firecracker is really close to the edge of the page. And so I actually want to move, I got to move that over. And I got to move these over, and I might want to make this smaller. So maybe 40. So that I'm not losing part of the title into the building there. And now I can move this over. I want it kind of touching the title, overlapping it just a smidge. And then I can bring down this blue because I do want it, you be able to tell that it's firework, right? Or firecracker. And I don't mind that it's going off the page. That was part of the design. And I can rotate it if I want. And I can make this one a little bigger. But checking your page in multiple views, I find really helps being disappointed when things come back from the printer. So even though this trim line is right here, I want to make sure that I am, far enough away from that trim line. So because even though that trim line is there, I still want to leave extra room there. All right, so now I can just add my text here in these two areas at the bottom. I actually think I can move everything, and I'm just holding my shift key and selecting these items. I'm just going to move them down a little bit. There was a lot of white there at the bottom. I want to leave extra room, but I think that looks good. And now I'm going to hit save so that it populates over here on the other side. And I think except for that journaling, we're good to go. I'm disappointed that the text can't be a little bit bigger up here. I am just going to add one other thing. I feel like I have to put Daytona Beach, even though it's going to say it in the text, I'm sure. And of course, it says right here, Daytona Beach Pier. But I'm going to add Daytona Beach. And I'm going to pick a, not that font. I'm going to pick just a nice, like, script font like that. And change that color to white and add a shadow to it. All right. So Daytona Beach firecracker 4 miler, and then down here I will put the info. So easy peasy. I always love to know, and especially if you're watching this later, how many of you are using Artisan, or you're thinking about, dabbling in digital. I'm going to stop sharing there because it's fun to know, who I'm talking to when I'm doing these. Now, this weekend at my open house, I was discussing one of the things that I've been wanting to do for a while is to have a digital evening where we get some of our digital people together. And we've done this in the past, and it's great because I can help people if they get stuck, but then I can also teach a couple tips and tricks like that I do on these Techie Tuesdays. So whether you're watching now or you're watching at a future time, let me know if that's something that that you're interested in. Yeah. Hey, Heidi, I, like to refer to myself as biscraptual. I do paper and I do digital. So it is a thing because, yeah, playing with paper, and you spend a lot of time on your computer. And I think that's what sometimes people don't understand. For some people that spend a lot of time on their computer, that's their safe space. Like, they are comfortable on a computer, so digital scrapbooking makes sense. For other people that spend a lot of time for their work and on their day-to-day job on a computer, then they don't want to spend their free time on their computer. Like, that's the last thing they want to do. They want to be ripping paper and dealing with pictures that way. So Yeah, so it's hard. You got to find the right balance for you. I have done a Techie Tuesday on a hybrid album. So basically, you're going through and you're picking your backgrounds and you're doing your title, but you're leaving the pictures and then you're adding your pictures after. And that helps people that have already printed a huge backlog of photos. And so they want to use them because they've got them printed. And so sometimes that makes sense to do it that way too. But I do love digital and I love paper, so I feel your pain. And sometimes, sometimes it starts with just doing one project, like one trip or one family reunion, or particularly something that you might need multiple copies of, say like a wedding or a family reunion or a trip that you went on with multiple people. Do that digital as kind of your entry into it, so that you can make multiple copies, because we all know, when you're making a traditional album, the last thing you want to do is, have someone in the family be like, oh, I would love for you to make one of those for me. You're like, yeah, this just took me 20 years to make this album, so sorry, I'm not gonna pop out 3 more of these. But with digital, even if it takes you all year to make it, at the end of the year you can print 3 copies, 4 copies, 10 copies, whatever you need. So anyway, all right, let's see who our winner is here. Let me share that real quick. And so don't hop off, because sorry about that. Wow, I disappeared, but I'm back. And oh gee whiz. I was on the wrong microphone this whole time. Could you even hear me? I mean, I trust that you would have told me if you couldn't hear me, but now you can hear me much better. Ugh. So sorry. I usually check that. I don't know why it wants to default to a terrible, terrible little camera. All right, let's try this again and not try to disappear. Okay. All right, so don't hop off. Someone is going to win either a forever gift certificate or some CM credits. Kim, are you still on? Kimberly, are you still on? Okay, good. Thank you, Heidi. Sometimes, I mean, I have this little thing pinned to my shirt, and if I don't pick it, then, a lot of good that does me. Hey, Kim, are you here? Is she hiding? I know there's a delay, so I don't like to pick right away. We're going to give Kim a second to hop on here. All right, Kim, are you here? No? All right, well, I'm going to pick again. I don't see Kim on there. All right, draw again. Heidi, you're still on, right? Are you there, Heidi? I feel like she's still there unless she had to hop off. Yay! Congratulations, Heidi. You are the winner today. I will send you those CM credits to your CM account, or I can send you a forever gift certificate. You can let me know, and you can hang on to those in case you ever want to go digital. But if you're still in the thinking process, then the CM credits might be what you want. You can use that towards some scrappy supplies until you make the jump. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone for hanging out with me during your lunch. I know everyone takes lunch at different times, but hanging out with me regardless today for an hour. And until I see you again, stay scrappy, my friends. All right, Heidi, I'll send those over to you. Thanks everyone. Stay scrappy. Bye-bye.